Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello, this is Adobe Live. I am your host, Chris Blackstock, coming from you from the sunny and semi-warm Los Angeles. It's 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we have Jarod Octon with us today. Hey, Jarod.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Very good. Very good.
Good. Also, I want you guys to check out the second week of a new Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Paul Tranny. It's every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So tune in, take your Photoshop skills to the next level. He's a great creator. Also, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, come on over to Behance at behance.net/Adobe Live, where we can answer all of your questions. You can answer Jarod anything that's on your mind. So please come on over. Looks like we have Sam Peterson with us today, helping us out in the chat. So yeah, awesome. Jarod, so excited. We're working in some Illustrator today. Looks like we're doing some rocket ship stuff. Can you just tell us who you are, where you're from, and show us some of your work and kind of what we're doing today?
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, Chris. So my name is Jarod, obviously, as said. I'm from San Diego native, still working out of San Diego, and most of the art I create, like the illustrations, here, if you go here, there's my website. Yeah. So,
and it's just your name, right? JarodOcton.com. Okay. Awesome.
Jarod Octon. Sometimes I work under Studio Octon. Social handles is Octon Original, Octon Originals. And, but yeah, so a lot of the stuff I do is very space themed, fantasy oriented. I like to push it into like that cartoony side of things. I was greatly influenced by like the Disney Renaissance as a kid and all the other like Fox animations and stuff. So this is it kind of, thanks, man. Yeah, it trickles into it a lot. Full time, I work for a company called Orbit. I'm the senior brand designer for them, and we get to do a lot of space themed stuff because that's kind of the branding, and then after hours I do a lot of freelance for a variety of clients. This year has been really crazy. Last year, December 11th, my little boy came, my first son.
Yay, congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, his name is Orion. Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah, so I'm on round one right now.
Yeah. This is the interesting. Like they just send me home with him. I have to make him survive somehow.
Yeah.
There's no instruction booklet. You guys, what's going on here?
No. Yeah. And it was, especially during a pandemic, there was a lot of learning to do, and in unprecedented times. But we brought him home and made it through a year. December 11th is his birthday, as I said. And so, I wanted to do something special for him. For
that's
his
awesome.
birthday, and that's one of the things we'll talk about as we dig into the illustration.
Cool.
Yeah. But,
right. Do you just want to real quick, like what we're going to be doing today in part one?
Yeah, let's dig in.
Let's do it.
Honestly, there's nothing else to do. So jumping into Illustrator, I did some sketches yesterday, and I'm still trying to figure out which one I want to do most. Maybe some people can chime in and see what they like best. But basically the idea is, my son, he's made his first trip around the sun. And, I just wanted to do something, like to commemorate. Last year I did, just going back to my website real quick. Last year I did this one, this baby announcement. So, nice. Try to keep it as gender neutral as possible to not ruin the surprise, right? So the pinks and blues is like, try to confuse them. But so this is like carrying on with that vibe.
Awesome. Okay.
Going back into Illustrator, I don't know, like maybe some of the cats in the comments can. So we have two.
We've got Wade taking over, helping us out here, and he loves when I ask him to do straw polls. This is like
okay.
I think.
Wade nice.
We could do a straw poll, and people could vote on this, and we can get an actual tally and see what people really want to do. I mean, this is kind of the fun thing about doing a live stream is we can get real feedback and see what people want to see you kind of create.
So, I will say, I mean, I know there's only 2 hours, so
leaning towards anything.
Well, I will say that I think this is the concept I love most. You know,
Okay.
It's got a kid-friendly vibe. It's just not as flushed out at the moment. This was something I was sketching last night, like maybe thinking of a different direction, trying to figure out these wheels still, and the wing and the back thruster and stuff. But happy birthday Orion, or no, Orion's first trip around the sun would basically be the text around it. Awesome. But to see like the full extent of, like, a lot of people love the textures I do on illustrations, like such as this one. If I go back to the homepage here, this here is an example of what we're kind of gonna do. If I share, well, basically we'll do all the vector layers here and then texture it. So yeah.
Do you want to show us the 3 illustrations so that we can do a vote, 1, 2, or 3? Just so. Yeah. So left to right, guys. Obviously, left one 1, middle one 2, last one 3. Jared's leaning towards the last one as far as idea wise, but yeah, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the straw poll what you guys like the best.
I will say, if it matters, or
you can tell them all to just I
think in this instance we're probably gonna do this one right here.
Okay, he's breaking our hearts.
I will let you guys. Well, let's see. Like, what are we talking about?
The poll's live, so we can go to it. If you go to the chat, you can go to the straw poll. Let's see.
Okay, how do I look at that?
Let's see what we got.
I'm on the phone.
Right now, it's tied. We've got 1 vote for each.
1 vote for each. Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, guys. If I do this one, you'll see like the whole gamut of textures and stuff. This style is kind of more flat. We got the sun, like kind of like peaks and stuff. So if you want to see some of those texture techniques, I might be able to apply that a little better with this one. And I think I'll be able to get it done in better time. This one's a little bit more complex.
All right. So you guys can vote. It's not going to matter. I think we're doing 2. We just wanted to do a straw poll. It doesn't, it's fine. That's
well, you let me know. Like, tell me if there's like an overwhelming amount of people that want one, then we'll rock with it. I'll make it happen.
As of right now, 2 is winning. So I think you're gonna get your wish here. So
all right, cool.
Let's just go with 2.
Let's do it. Let's get it on, man. I'm ready.
I think design wise, I like that one the best. So
yeah, I think it came out a little better. It's a little more dynamic.
Exactly.
And that's so this one's got like the Lilo and Stitch kind of vibe, right? Like where he like jumps in the little quarter machine and is really disappointed. All right, so I'm gonna take this guy. We're gonna make a new layer. Bam, and everybody can see everything good, right? So
yeah, Wade's get out and vote. It doesn't matter. That's the new American.
Pretty much.
Get out and vote. Doesn't matter.
Get this out.
Okay.
Here. Can I minimize?
Got some people tuning in from Canada. Hello, D. Ross. All right.
Hello, Canada. Let's see. Any buddies on here?
People are excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for Illustrator textures. They always come out so great.
Yeah. So just to give you guys because I don't know if I really broke down what we're gonna do here. So obviously I got the concept sketch locked away and done. So today we're gonna go into Illustrator, as you see, and we're gonna set up layers, create vector shapes, and with the intent of exporting to Photoshop. So all the textures are going to be done in Photoshop. We can do Illustrator textures, but I find that it gets real heavy, the file. So so I generally like to just work in Photoshop, and what I'll do is make the Illustrator file real big. Right now, I think we're working in like, we're working in pixels, but like everything's like 3600 by 2400, 300 DPI. So definitely want to make it big. So when you export, it'll be large enough so you don't have to worry about it being small, right? Just as like a rule of thumb. Yeah,
definitely. Okay, cool. Okay. So we're going to be doing this in Illustrator, and then tomorrow we'll be exporting it into Photoshop and finishing the textures. And okay, cool. Awesome.
So yeah, right now I'm going to just trace everything. I do have a color palette set aside. I always like to limit my colors. I think creates a stronger composition. So, we'll pull like tints, from these 4 or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And I won't do a true black. I usually don't do a true black. Like that usually just kind of like looks out of place with all these other colors.
Every art teacher will tell you never use true black.
Yeah.
Like make it yourself, get close, but don't use full black. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just dig in.
Nice.
Let's see here. Why is it not? There we go. Vector lines. Okay, so now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to start. I feel like the rocket might be a good place, and I'm honestly just gonna everything seems to be pretty proportional to the way I tend to like it, so I'm not gonna worry too much.
Quick question from Peter Bex. He was asking about why the triangle as the background design.
That could change, honestly. Like I just thought it looked nice the way it kind of like dissipated towards the top.
Right, that direction and the kind of how
it
goes all.
I will say exactly, because if you look at the original concept, it looks really sweet like this. And if that was just like a crescent, I would probably rock with just like the full illustration, like use all that negative space. But since this is going to be a sun, you know, one trip around the sun, like it's going to lead off. And so I want to kind of contain it and just kind of give it like that badge feel to it. Whether I may or may not add text. Sometimes I just like to have it clean, you know, sans text. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
Let's get a stroke so I can actually see it. Yeah, it was red. Okay.
Did you sketch this in Photoshop first, or?
I did sketch it beforehand. It was not Photoshop. It was a different application. So
okay, that's fine.
It is Procreate.
You can say it.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like any.
No, I mean, look, Adobe has amazing, incredible programs, but you know, we're artists. We use all different kinds of tools. You know, we're here. I mean, this is the meat and potatoes is here.
The meat and potatoes. I am such a loyalist when it comes to Adobe. Just
this is the good stuff.
Yeah, like it's just been really nice working in Procreate and exporting out to Illustrator.
You gotta find your workflow. You know, sometimes it's easier to use other programs for certain things, but don't worry about that.
Yeah. So
no one's knocking on your door. You're gonna be fine.
Right. So yeah, I used to only draw on pencil and paper. I used to only draw on paper, you know, like full analog. But just a couple of years ago, I bought the iPad, and that just was like a game changer. So
no, I mean, same here. It's I do a ton of different things. You know, I work in comics, character design, concept art, full cover illustration, and I don't use just one program. I'm all over the place depending on, you know, what the job needs. And so, yeah, I think it's smart to kind of have that ability to switch between programs and kind of have that knowledge.
Right. Yeah. I think it's important that you dabble in a little bit of everything. You should never use just one tool. You should use every resource available to you, really. I feel like that makes for stronger work. So yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. You know what? I'm going to go back here. No, that's good.
So are we using red just because it stands out and it's easy to see over?
Yeah, I'm literally just using this as like a way for me to see. Once we get all the shapes and everything, I'll definitely change the colors. So I'm going to do the vector lines on one and then the shapes on another one, so I can have that control. And then I'll probably make this a different color. Well, actually, yeah, I'll just make this one something else. You know what? Let's go to the colors we're actually going to use here. So I'll go there and make that.
So Annika had a question, and she asked if you prefer to use the pen tool to make the shapes, to make the illustrations more organic. She said, why not use the image trace instead?
Image trace always... the image trace always seems to like give me these weird artifacts. I never use it personally. I'm like a surgeon when it comes to everything. You'll notice me like tinkering with like the same thing over and over just because I'm like such a perfectionist. So I generally always try and keep, if I can get the sketch as close to possible, then I don't have to worry as much about like, you know, how things will look or not look. But like,
because you can end up with like crazy anchor point. You're like, where did this come from? You know, like,
exactly. Yeah, I've just never been a fan of it. Honestly, if you can get your concept like locked and loaded, rocking, looking good before you import, I think you'll end up with a better result. Like, don't try and like tune. I mean, you can always add things later, but I feel like if you can get as close as possible to what you think is going to be the final concept, even if it's rough, you know, like these lines are pretty clean because I'm using the tools within Procreate, but you know, even if it's a rough sketch, it's okay. You know, it'll work itself out, kind of like, you know, sharpen up at the end of it all.
And people are also asking in the chat, can you just kind of let us know what tools you're using and how you're cutting out these shapes? I think a lot of people have a hard time with understanding when you're creating those vector shapes, how to do those overlapping cuts and stuff. And
so okay, so I kind of just wanted to dive in because I'm honestly just trying to get over my nerves anyway. So if you see me doing like the same thing twice, forgive me. You know, I haven't been live in a long time, being stuck indoors. So I have been working remote. So like, this has been great to like jump in and talk to everybody. So yes, to answer your questions, we have the pen tool. I hit Command or just P, just the key P to get into P. Yeah, for the shortcut. And then Pathfinder is like seriously my best friend. So like some of the things I just did, you know, like with those shapes, if I just go back real quick, I can show you. So yeah, like this shape here, you know, if I were to like make that like an actual shape, like flip it to a fill, and then take this shape, take those, and then here, this one at the bottom, divide, I can take that sweet spot right there, that shape there, and then go back, delete that unnecessary, right? And then I'll end up with this shape here. So, and then, along with this one here. So,
and these are the big tools. I mean, Pathfinder, this is really how you get a lot of these. Awesome
honestly
shapes.
Like the pen tool and the Pathfinder are like all I ever use for the most part. And then I do use the shape tool, obviously, like ellipses, rectangles, when it makes sense. Like, I'll definitely end up using it for like this swoop, the sun, you know,
to get those really clean ellipses.
That's, you know, because a lot of my work is just like super, you know, I don't know, geometric. So, you know, these type of things really are helpful. Was there any other tools that someone might be asking about, or those that just?
I think it was just that. I think for when we're doing these, it's always great, like as you're doing it with some of the stuff that may be more complicated, or you know, it's just kind of just mention what you're doing occasionally of like, okay, I'm using the Pathfinder, cutting this out. You don't have to do it with everything. But it is good, sense. You know, when people are watching this, it's kind of nice to have it as a reference, because this is going to be on the internet forever. So you can always go back and use this as an educational tool.
Point out my mistakes.
Don't mess up.
I'm already
to be perfect.
Well, hopefully I can speed this up and I won't, you know, spend all this whole time on just this one circle. But so one thing you should always do when prepping a file like this, you know, with the intent to export to Photoshop, is separate everything onto different layers. Like now we'll actually get into like some things that like I feel like are really important for a successful textured piece. The more layers, the better. It allows you more control when you're doing layer selections within Photoshops, you know, creating masks and all that good stuff. So like this is an example, one shape for the sun, that's perfect, you know, or one layer for the sun rather. So I'm going to move on. Like these guys here, we're just going to make that its own layer. I guess it'll be like the nose stripes.
And this is really mostly about flexibility. I mean, it's
flexibility, because I could easily export all of this and do like little, like, you know, magic wand. But like once you get into raster, like the things get pixelated and you're not going to get as sharp of a selection. And it just allows you
to get those
control.
feathered edges and stuff. Yeah. Exactly.
So, okay, so we got the actual hole, the rocket hole, body, if you like. Definitely take that, put that there. Okay, and then, all right, so moving on. So yeah, so we got the basic shape of the rocket. I want to get the little thruster here. I'm going to start moving into this little.
And just so everybody knows, Jared and I are in the same time zone. He's chosen to live in a cave. I have windows open. I'm getting vitamin D.
That is right.
I just want everybody to know. Well, I don't know. Are you in San Diego? You might not be. Are you on vacation?
Yeah. No. Well, okay. To my defense, you know, I lost my office last year with the arrival of my son Orion.
I am in my house as well, so don't worry. Do not worry.
This just happens to be like the most shaded part of our apartment, so yes. I could open that window, but then you might lose a little bit of me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be the bright light, and so it's just
you know, it's a lose-lose situation here.
Yeah.
But anyway,
don't worry. I'm on my dining room table. Don't worry about that.
Awesome. I love the stockings back there. It's looking very festive.
Yeah. Yes. It's like right when after Thanksgiving, the wife immediately, it's like, we're putting up the lights, we're getting our tree, the stockings. We're just like, okay. It is nice.
Yeah. I have a buddy I work with. He actually had his tree up Halloween. I was like, oh man.
Dude, people this year, like that's how it was. It's like, I swear, the day after Halloween, like Christmas lights were up and people are like, okay, cool. We're done. Yeah. Thanksgiving's going to happen. Whatever.
Right.
Let's just get to Christmas.
Something else I wanted to mention. I think it's really helpful when creating these paths to try and like limit the amount of anchor points you do. I think it creates like smoother lines. So for this one here, I only use from point A to point B two anchor points. For here, to get that little like nice swerve up towards the top, I used one. So if you can limit that between distances, I think your shapes will look a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. You know, sometimes people like they might add a lot of anchor points, and then it creates that kind of jaggedness to their shapes.
Right. So, it's almost like when you're drawing as well. It's like you want this path, this motion.
Yeah.
And if you're kind of just noodling it along, it's it's not going to look. It's not going to have the same energy, really.
It really won't. I mean, but you know, there's also there's a preference for that too. So I mean, it's not like you can't do it, but if you're trying to get these like super sharp, you know, styles, like I suggest limiting. And then just so you know, if you ever need like a curved like radius, like you know, like a little corner, they have this awesome little, you know, I don't know, what do you call it, little button circle guy.
I think it's an anchor point, right? Or what's it called?
Well, it's on the anchor, but you got
it's on the anchor. It's a
you know, curved radius.
Yes.
Know? So that is super helpful. I try and like, as soon as I start it, I try to stop it, because as soon as you can get out of control, right? And I still want it to look sharp, but I just want it to look a little friendlier. So I stop it real, like right at the end, you know, maybe bring it down a little bit. Okay, cool.
And you have a very clean graphic style. So also, like you said, doing it this way with the kind of minimum points and really trying to get those big beautiful shapes, it really goes with your style.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's that. And I can see the inspiration from the Disney, you know, like you said, the Disney Renaissance era. I mean, it's really cool, and it's really fun, and it's really digestible. There's not a lot of people that look at that kind of work and are like, you know, it does nothing for me. You know, everybody, it's like an immediate aesthetic that's like, oh, it's really nice to look at.
Oh, thank you.
So,
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it was a lot of, you know, trial and error, right? Like, you know, like trying to figure out what works. You know, there's a lot of experimentation. You know, I went to a school locally called Platt College San Diego, and there, you know, I was able to take a lot of my analog skills, you know, like traditional drawing, painting, and apply it in a digital way. And when, you know, so taking those influences from my childhood into this digital realm was definitely a strength, you know. And I think But it took a while to figure out what was the right direction, because you could do everything, right? Like there's so many different, you know, styles to play with. But you know, at the end of the day, you got to look at what works for you, what gets good responses, and then just try and like do that again and again and again. And eventually it just like, I feel like it just, you know, forms into this, you know, unique thing that's you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the process of creating your own style, you know.
Right.
It's a lot of testing, failure, you know, experimentation.
A lot of failure.
Yeah, a lot of failure. It's okay to be a failure, everybody.
It's good to be a failure.
You gotta keep trying.
If you're not failing, then you're not doing anything, right? Like
then you're not learning. You're not
learning.
Like you'll be like, oh, this one thing works. Well, okay, you can do that one thing, but then where do you grow from there?
Right. And I mean, as you'll see during this process, I'm sure I'll definitely make some mistakes, and I'm trying not to look too much at the just to see who's gonna call me out on something.
Oh no, yeah, don't worry about that. I will. I'm your shield. I will protect you. I'm your chat bodyguard.
Just
Wade and I will let anybody know if they start talking ish about Jarod.
Nah, it's all good. I can take it. Yeah. I can take it.
Okay, you can take it, guys. Just bring it.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah, I'm not protecting you. No, it's fine.
Oh yeah,
we got a tough guy.
So, okay, so this shape right here, I just created. This is gonna be something I'll use later to create like a chrome finish. I think with this, there's gonna be a lot of like streaks through it. So I just want to have like at least a couple edges that like I can brush against and still keep this consistent curve. So I probably, you know, so this isn't going to be visible the entire time. So for now, I'm going to actually like turn that layer off, but it just, so you know, that's why I created that shape. It's going to allow me that control. So like I can give a super highlight here from the sun, which will probably be like yellow, right? Like, you know, bounce that light off the metal. And then on this side, I might have like, you know, one of these other colors. Maybe it's a purple or a pink, you know?
Right.
So one thing to consider is like where the light source is going to be. So the sun's here, you know, and then it's probably going to be darker over here. But it's kind of nice if you can have like another hot spot. So like maybe darkest areas should be over here. Maybe these like, you know, little like tech circles or windows could be glowing from within, that type of thing. So
yeah, definitely
carry on. And obviously my son's name is Orion. So he's
a good name.
Piloting. Yeah. Okay, so where are we going here? Let's see. Let's get into the helmet. I just want to make sure we have our layers. So let's see. Shading. Shape. I'll just call that shading shape. You got the rocket hole up top. Okay.
So we found out what that tool is. It's called the Live Corner Widget.
Live Corner Widget. Thank you for teaching me
straight from Adobe.
Thank you so much, Adobe. All right. Yeah, I use you know, it's one of those things like when you try and give directions, you know the landmarks. You know, it's that one place you made a left turn at, and then you make another right.
That orange building with the big thing on it, and you got it.
We met that one guy. So
I know it's so much a digital. It's like you can only remember so many tools. It's like I just know what it is and what it looks like and how it works. I don't know the name.
For sure. Okay, so let's see here. This one's a little irregular in shape, but let's see if the circle tool, the shape tool, kind of help me in this. I think
it's almost like 3D modeling as well, right? It's like you have your base shapes to work on. You know, you want to start a face. Okay, you're either going to get a rectangle or a big sphere, and then you start sculpting.
Exactly.
It's just kind of that same idea. It's like bringing in a basic shape so that you can have some nice curves already to work with, and then you can build on top of that.
Yeah, totally. And sometimes I might like with this instance, like I don't want it to be a perfect circle. So maybe like you can use things like the shear tool, you know, because you don't want to like mess with those anchor points. So like, you know, like let's start curving that. And obviously that's the wrong direction. So let's go negative. Boom. And now it's starting to create like a little more like, you know, like a unique perspective, I suppose. But maybe that's too much. like literally just a little bit. And normally I wouldn't do that, but I just wanted to see how it might play, how it might look. So yeah, we'll run with that. Now we're gonna go full control with the anchor points. You know what? I'm still not liking it. Let's just go with the original shape. So sometimes you try things, they don't work, you know, like that. In this instance, I didn't need to use the shape tool.
Right.
But I wanted to see if maybe it might look a little cleaner. And then we'll go in. So this is definitely one where you want to add an extra anchor point.
Right.
And we'll fine tune this out. Just enough to so I can have that handle later. That's obviously too much. And let's bring this out a little bit.
Just really quick, just wanted to mention to everybody, if you are watching this on YouTube, hello. Why don't you come on over to behance.net/Adobe Live so we can answer your questions. Yeah, hop up in the chat up in here and ask Jarod some really hard, tough questions that will
please distract me a little.
We're trying to break them.
You can't break me. If my son can't break me, you can't.
Oh my gosh, that's the truth. Yeah, I got a 5-year-old and a soon-to-be 2-year-old. And
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So you had a little break in between.
Yeah, I had about 3 years. Right when I started getting comfortable, I'm like, I really get this. You know, this is great.
Yeah.
And then we have another one. I was like, oh wow, each one's different. Okay, this is everything I applied to the first one. I can't apply again. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. It's been an interesting.
Sleep's rough, but you know, it's fun.
Sleep is really rough. I'm actually running on very little sleep just because of that today. Yeah. So that's probably why I'm a little like just jittery at the moment on top of all that. It's
got to take legal stimulants. That's
legal caffeine
stimulants. Yes, caffeine. Lots of it.
I think right now these lines are way too thick. I can't see the original sketch.
I was going to ask you about that too. It was just
yeah, I think all these lines, honestly, like I'm just going to make everything. Let's make sure I don't select any of the fills already. Yeah.
I believe you can just bring up, sorry, Megan's asking in the chat how you bring up the Pathfinder box. You could either go to window and find the Pathfinder, click on it to pop it up. So
it's also in the window.
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
And then sometimes it can be in that, in that right side, and you can just grab it out of there.
That's what I did. You know, I pulled it right out, and we'll use that a lot more as I finish these strokes and everything. Okay, let's get this pushing here. And let's see if maybe I want this anchor point right here so it kind of trails off. Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this?
Well, professionally,
what do you tell people?
I lose track, honestly. I always like go to my LinkedIn. I'm like, how long have I been doing this? Like,
wait, let me check for you. Can't remember.
Yeah, but
it's all a blur now that I have a child.
It really is. So, I mean, I graduated from Platt College San Diego in 2012. So, but I've been doing stuff even before then. I worked for a sign shop before that.
Okay. Hand painted signs or digital?
It was a lot of like vinyl transfers. We did signage, like stickers, t-shirts. So that kind of stuff. I would love to do some hand painted stuff, but
that's a lot.
I don't know if that's a whole other.
Got bust out the one shot bag. Toxic paint. Stuff's awesome.
Yeah. I love painting. The thing that kills me is I'm real OCD. So like getting paint everywhere always drives me insane at the same time. So it's like, it just doesn't, it kind of cancels each other out. Not a good look.
Yeah, but I got to clean afterwards.
I know. And then what do? I have a kid. So, you know, like breakfast, dinner, lunch is like all over. It might as well be, you know, an art studio.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the table flip or the plate flip. It's like,
oh my gosh.
Is he eating? He's currently throwing it across the room, but he is eating some of it. So we're winning right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to see now, but there are some promising lines in there.
So now that's a hotkey for you changing the view, right? So you can see the skeleton.
So to show the vectors, right?
Yes.
We had a teacher at our college that always like, show me the vectors, and you command Y, it does that. So bam, bam. And that's nice. You know, sometimes that sketch is, you know, a little overwhelming, and you just need to get rid of that for a second.
Yeah, definitely.
Not feeling. Let's bring that down a little bit. Okay. So let's take this guy. I'm gonna get rid of some of these shapes real quick so I can get back to the other one. Hide the rocket because that's distracting. Hide the sun.
There you go.
All right. So just so I don't lose this. So what I did to get rid of those, I did Command X to just, you know, cut.
Right.
And I'm going to put that back on another layer so I don't lose it once I copy something else.
Gotcha.
So that's just for, you know, and I'm going to see, I'm still not happy with the angle of this. So I'm going to take in a little bit more. I'm just going to really like seriously trace this thing because I'm not feeling the stroke at the moment. And I'm going to try and just kind of speed this up here. I feel like I'm lollygagging. And this is why
it's just
good
do the
that
helmet.
Yeah.
Part 1, the helmet.
Oh my, I know.
Part 2, the helmet.
It's so real though, and it was like,
time flies. You're like, I've got all this time, then you're like, I got no time. Everything. And
I just wanted to make
sure you have to talk, and you know,
it is the thing too, because like once I make these shapes, like once I actually cut them out, like I don't want to go back. So I'm trying to make this look as solid. So okay, now here's a great instance of the path tool. You know, I'm going to turn this to a fill. That way you can see it. You know, you can do that as well with the stroke, but it's just a little harder. So obviously I just hit this divide, Command Y. So you can see that this right here, like the anchor points now stop at that edge, which is going to be real helpful. So take that and I'm going to go back, just Command Z, delete that because I don't need it anymore. Bam. And then now we have a nice smooth shape there. And perfect. I might even take this, do that beautiful, what was it again? The live.
That is the live corner widget.
Live corner widget. So that way it looks like it kind of trails off nicely. Same here. I feel like, you know, that way it'll, so once these, like, let's just show you like a different color here. Get rid of this here. And take that, just so now you see it, it'll look nice and clean with those corners. It won't go like hard. So
it's a smoother transition. Yeah,
that's it. Thank you for that. Okay, so now we got these other shapes. Let's get these back.
And I always like to remind the artist, you know, when we're doing this, you've got a little bit of time before the stream tomorrow. So, you know, usually when I'm doing a guest spot on here, I like to see like, okay, how far can I get? And then just make sure that, you know, I kind of make up for whatever I did in between streams.
Yeah.
Because I know that feeling. You're just like, I want to get more of this done. And you got to just kind of, so you do have a little bit of time just so you're not freaking out too much. That usually helps.
I'm a little nervous, guys. Admittedly, you know, like just to humble myself here, like, you know, like I know everyone's watching. So, but I'm having fun still. Like it's a good time.
Well, we're here to watch a human make art, so you know, don't worry about it. You know,
right?
It's and day 2 will probably be a lot easier because you kind of get the flow of everything and kind of it's not going to be as nerve wracking.
Totally, and I think people are going to really enjoy day 2 as well. That's when like the fun special effects happen. This is like the accounting side of it, you know, like this.
And you got to have that really strong foundation, and these shapes have to look right, because if you get to day 2, that part 2, and you're starting to finish it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember I didn't like that shape, or you know, it's like those things will start to stand out, and you know, it's like, so this is the boring hard part that is really important and you gotta build that really good foundation.
You really do. Just worried there I lost a shape here, but it looks like I'm good. I'm gonna take this, take that. Okay, now I'm starting to see some things take shape.
Brian T. Williams says, please make sure you save, please.
Oh, I know.
So
Command S. Yeah, yes. Thank you. But I don't think you see the untitled, don't you? Wow.
He was yelling at you. He was all caps.
Yep. That is definitely
really
a bad
worried.
habit. It gets the best of us.
Yeah.
So let's say Orion's first trip. Just Orion's first trip's good. We know the gist.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Yeah. Woo! The power goes out.
Yeah, that was close.
I'll be doing a lot of catch up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're good.
Want to see Jarod cry?
Yeah, that's how you break me.
Yeah. We're gonna lose his file.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just want to let me remember what I'm looking at here. Okay, we got the visor. So let's just put that on a different layer. On a different laser.
On a different laser. I wish that's what they were called.
Right?
Lasers.
Sharks with freaking laser beams, man. Let's see. Let's just call that the ear plate. Always name your layers. Trust me, because I promise, like when we get into Photoshop, the layers stack and stack, and then before you know, you have 100 layers, and you're trying to explore all these different shapes and trying to figure out what it is.
Layer heavy work. It's always good to keep it organized.
Get the main element fill.
Nothing worse than clicking through layers to find.
Right.
Like it's somewhere here.
Okay, got that. All right, so get rid of this one. Got that. I don't need that. Oh no, I do need this one still. Okay. Get the plate.
So if you guys are just tuning in, just want to give you a quick update. We're here with Jarod Octon, and we are doing a really awesome rocket ship. First time around the sun. Graphics here in Illustrator for his son or Orion. So really cool. We're going to transfer this to Photoshop tomorrow and do a bunch of awesome textures. So stick around, please. I'm really excited to see this all come together.
Yeah. And, and one thing I always tell people, like, and I have to tell myself sometimes, like, it takes a while to get to that like really exciting stage, right? Like in the beginning, you're just like, is this going to look good? Like, if you have a solid concept, it'll look awesome. You just have to push through and get those, that nitty gritty out of the way. And then before you know it, it's banging. It's looking awesome. So,
and I think that's why it's important to trust the process, and that comes with a lot of practice. Because I can't tell you how many times I'm starting an illustration or I'm halfway through and I just want to get to the end and just remind myself, like, just, where you have to go.
Yep.
You know what you need to do before then. And if you rush it, it's not going to end up the way you want.
No.
So you got to trust the process.
Okay. So I'm going to take this guy and combine them because those are both, it's one fill there. And then let's see. Yeah, this will be fine. And then
Robert was asking, do you use the curvature tool?
The curvature tool? I don't. I'm not sure if I really have used that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
I would love to hear what he has to say about that, like if there is the benefits of it.
Yeah. Robert, benefits?
I'm trying to think if I'm actually thinking of the right tool too.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I'm not sure. So there was a bunch of new features that came out just recently, right? And like I know I need to dig into a lot of the stuff that's come out, but I have a feeling he's going to be like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know that thing. But just no. All right. I need to take a second here. Where am I going with this? All right, so
I'm going to read it to you from the Google Illustrator. The curvature tool simplifies path creation and makes drawing easy and intuitive. This tool enables you to create, toggle, edit, add, or remove smooth or corner points. You don't have to switch between different tools to work quickly and precisely with paths.
It's not the smooth tool, right? So it's a curvature. It's its own tool. Okay. That's kind of what it sounds like, you know, like delete anchor points as go. No, I haven't used it, and I will check it out after this. Yeah, it sounds interesting. So, okay, now we're going to get the main shape here. Let's get this guy. I want that. That's that top dome piece. Let's get rid of this guy. I'm just going to keep putting this on this layer just as my like little trash bucket, but I don't want to throw it away kind of thing.
Yes. Gotta hide that. Trash that I will use later.
Yeah, exactly.
Trash collector.
Exactly. All right, and then this should be enough to get this shape here. And I'll take that one. Okay, so I think good here. Oop, no. Let's see, let's get this one here. No, I did that wrong. Let's see.
So where are you in San Diego?
La Mesa, San Diego County. Okay. But yeah, like La Mesa is the district.
Awesome. Yeah, my sister lives in Encinitas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so going down there for Christmas for a little bit, but yeah. Love it.
Oh, that's
Love
great.
It down there. San Diego's so nice.
It is. I just wish I could wear jackets more often. I like to layer.
Well, you know, that's the problem with SoCal is you can't really, you know, the fashion options are limited. You know,
right.
I lived in the Bay Area for a long time, and that was my favorite.
Oh, okay.
It's like you get to wear a jacket and sweatshirt every day.
Yeah, I'm actually good.
Time of the
That's
year
actually funny you bring that up because I'm gonna be in San Francisco on Thursday.
Oh,
so
nice.
My job, they're doing little like employee get together, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I just got back from there. We just did my wife's a jewelry designer, and she just did the West Coast Craft Fair up there.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, at Fort Mason. Really cool event. But yeah, I always love an excuse to go to San Francisco and Oakland.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's probably pretty cold right now, right? Like I know it's like just going.
You know, it is, but it's not. You know, it's the Bay, so it's like it's temperate. So it's like it gets cold and windy, but it doesn't really get that cold. You know, it gets colder down here, really, and you know, in the wintertime, just because it's the desert. But you know, generally, yeah, it's like the average temperature is like 60 degrees, especially in San Francisco.
Yeah,
it's usually pretty chilly.
Okay, so I got a lot going on here, and I think I want to start deleting some things so I don't get. I know I said I like that little bucket, but I like my layers nice and tight. This is the only shape left that I haven't utilized. So we got the visor, right? Like that looks good. Yes. But I will say that if you can see it, this right here kind of trails off. So if you take this layer here, it looks like it trails off a little too close to that edge, right?
Right.
So that might create some weirdness like when I'm actually texturing later. So I want to just bring it out just a teeny bit more, and then just that way I can hit divide. And if I go this way, and let's say I make that an actual shape or fill rather, I select that, delete that, and it gets rid of that. It's like trimming some like excess hairs, you know, like off your
right.
head.
It really smooths out that. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. That was a weird metaphor, but or analogy, but yeah, we just want to trim the dead ends, basically.
Yes. Also, I wanted to apologize to everybody if I said chilly at 60 degrees, because I'm sure there's some people tuning in from places where it's actually cold, possibly snow.
Yeah, I know. I can't say anything. That's been cold for us, but when you're used to 100 plus, you know, that's the thing. How hot does it get there, though? You know,
exactly. Yeah.
So what's hot for you guys? So like, oh, that's nothing, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, there's some
ways.
places like, yeah, you go in the either in the South or Midwest. It's like summertime's there.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice and moist.
Okay. So I don't know why I'm having a brain fart right now. I'm just like, this one shape is just killing me for some reason. So I'm just going to do it manually here. So I use the Command C for the cut tool, and that does that manually. That also is very helpful when in instances like this, for some reason, I'm just not thinking. So I did that, deleted that. We just want to delete this one though. Oh, keep deleting everything. Oh, because the other thing I need to do is right here, delete that one. Now I can delete that little extra. Now, typically I wouldn't do that, but I just wanted to kind of just, and then I like to always align them so it doesn't create some weirdness there. And then, but you know, that is probably an efficient way to do it. So let me just go back here. Now I'm thinking, okay, now I'm actually using my brain. Let's, all
right, good.
I'm just going to take
until now.
Up until now. So here, I'm just going to take this and just delete this one here. No, not that one. Okay, let's go here. Okay. Oh, that's why I didn't select this one. Why is this not? Command X, Command B. It's not creating what I want it to. Okay. I'm still not thinking right. This guy right here is just annoying me. What is this shape here? So there. There we go. Okay. Sorry guys. I was having a moment there.
Yeah,
just
it happens.
Yeah. That. Okay, bring this guy back in. Okay, so we basically have the gist of it there. Now I'm just really starting to speed things up here. Just kind of wing in here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, this for the sake of time. Just do another. Did Command C, Command F to get that same shape.
Right.
And
right.
since we got like that perspective, I want to bring it over a little bit. You know, just a tad, and then. Maybe actually it's closer. I don't know. It looks okay. Let's see. There's also, if you wanted to get like perfect shape within like a certain distance, you could also go like path, offset path, and then you know that'll create a nice shape.
Right.
And maybe that's where I want to go with it instead. Just to get that perfect. But then sometimes it creates these like, it's a little too pointy for my taste. Right. But let's see how it looks. Yeah, see that so that's the drawback to that. Like,
yeah.
Okay, just leave it there. It's fine. Just not overthink it here. Okay, so I got the ears. So let's go back to these layers real quick. I got some blank ones that haven't been used. This one doesn't matter. I think, well, actually might as well since here. Oops. Okay, take this guy. Make sure the hierarchy is correct. So like whatever needs to be in the foreground, you know, is above the stuff in the background. So I'm just going to call this inner ear. Call this.
And that you'll notice as you start using the filled in shapes, you're going to know where it's sitting because it's going to disappear real quick if it's sitting way down the totem pole of those layers.
And we'll deal with that as we go. Make sure I put the helmet back where it needs to be on this layer. Okay, got this blank one. Don't need these. Okay, got the dome. Okay, and then this will be our next whatever it is. So that's looking like a nice, cool futuristic helmet right now. It's got some like aerodynamic vibes, like it looks like Yeah. Like it's
No, it looks good.
Okay. That's gonna be clean. And man, when the colors and textures start coming in. So yeah, I think we could round this out a little bit. Just
Nice.
That might be fun. Maybe a little less. That might be cool. And then, all right, so let's go back to Command Y. All right, so I'm gonna leave these little details off for a second so we can get to some other stuff.
Yes.
So for the main faceplate or the visor, we'll have some of the sun reflecting off it. I like little like cosmic waves when I do art, you know, so it'll probably be real wavy like those crazy 90s glasses, you know.
Yes.
You know, and like Oakleys or whatever.
Right.
So
right,
okay.
Right.
Let's bring everything in. So I only have actually one fill and it's those nose stripes. So I'm just gonna where everything looks similar. With that, and I can take that shading shape because I don't need that right now. Okay, so we got a vibe going. It's starting to come together. Let's get this going here. I will just use the pen tool just so I don't interfere with some of the other ones. I'm gonna lock everything.
Very good idea.
Yeah, just in case something weird happens and I grab something.
Yeah, that's always a sad moment. When you're like, wait,
right?
When did that get tweaked? Oh, an hour ago, and I didn't notice.
Yeah, I know. It's probably just not as important, but it falls in line with the don't forget to save and stuff like that. The good habits that make for a better process. Yes. This one's looking a little wonky there. Yeah, it looks better. But now we got to bring this guy out. One second, guys. I'm going to turn the chat back on. See. All right. Make sure my phone doesn't turn off. So,
yeah.
I want to see you guys commenting and everything. Yeah.
I got you too. I'll make sure I'm looking at the chat.
Okay, cool.
Making sure yeah. I'll let you know if anybody's chiming in or anything important.
Yeah.
Wade helps us out too and answers some of the other smaller questions.
Right. Okay, cool. All right. So this is looking good.
I guess just real quick, we're about an hour in. So we're here with Jarod Octon. We're doing this sci-fi rocket ship for his son. First year around the sun, December 11th. Yep. So it's pretty exciting. Doing the initial drawing and everything in Illustrator. And then tomorrow we're going to bring it into Photoshop and do all the textures and everything. So if you're hanging out on YouTube watching this, welcome. But please come on over to behance.net/Adobe Live so we can answer your questions. And if you have anything to ask Jarod about his techniques or, his process, please let us know.
Yeah, please do it. And now that I know we're an hour in, I'm going to definitely start speeding things up. Thanks, guys, for bearing with me.
We want to see some sweat on that face.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
A little bit anxiety.
Definitely all the above. No sweat, though.
Yeah. We'll get the fakes stuff. We'll just
add it in post or whatever.
Yeah. We got a makeup person there, right? They sent one.
Oh yeah, that big budget.
Yeah.
All right, cool guys. All right, getting that in. Get the pocket. Let's get some other shapes here. Though, okay. I got that one. Command X. Okay, yeah, Command X. Let's get back to that was the original there, so I can use that one to my advantage. And then I'm going to take that other one and just kind of scale it down here. See if I can use that. Okay. Bring it back. That sun is bugging me. There we go. Get rid of it. Shoo, sun. Let's see. Bring this out a little bit.
Now, did you start your Illustrator kind of training in school? Was it something that you were really interested before you went to art school, or is it something kind of When you got
So
there, they're like, oh, you should start using this.
So actually, I didn't actually take any. It's funny. I went to school, but I actually didn't do any Illustrator classes when I went to school because before I started, I had this like, everyone's got their little pipe dreams of like, I'm gonna blow up in this particular way. And at one point, I wanted to make a clothing brand, and it was called Class Act Label. I know,
Nice.
and
Nice.
yeah, and basically I taught myself how to use Illustrator, to make these t-shirt graphics.
Right.
I had like all these different graphics for guys in my crew at the time. I have a buddy named his name's Ben, and his name is Bearilla, so I created like this bear with the top hat and stuff, and that was like one of the t-shirt graphics. So I was real interesting trying to learn these things by myself, and then I showed the portfolio to the professor at the time, and he said I knew the gist of it, so I didn't need to take the class. So what I mostly learned when going was like more of like the business stuff, like some of the graphic design. I did 3D web, some 3D visual effects and compositing.
Kind of like the mixed media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally that. Okay, now let's get rid of this shape here. Let's try to rock and roll. And then turn to a fill so I can get that shape. The one I just made. Yeah, that looks good. Bam, bam, bam. But you know what? I think I'll take this one instead. So think about which one you want to use later on. I think that's good. So
Miles Mendoza says, he said, props to you for performing live. Definitely a vulnerable thing to show all the nitty gritty steps. Love it.
Thanks, Miles. Miles is going to be spotlighted tomorrow on day 2.
Oh yeah.
Actually, he's
artist spotlight, guys.
Yeah. So look out tomorrow. He's a fellow design dad. He's good people. He's a great guy. Great, even better dad, husband. But yeah, he does a lot of live stuff too. For there's on Instagram, Logo Inspirations is an account, and they do like badge challenges and stuff like that. So yeah, he's no stranger to that. This is my first time showing anyone my process live, and yes, I'm making every mistake as I go. So
that's the fun part.
It is. Okay, so we're gonna call this the seat. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna seat, and then seat 2. Yeah, just so I don't need too many of those. Okay, so I got that shape. We're looking good there. I don't want to knock this out like the other shapes, because the helmet is gonna live in the foreground comfortably. I don't need to do that. Like all this stuff is gonna be knocked out. So okay, cool. We've got that. Moving. Okay, let's get this orbit here. Like this is gonna be a tricky one. So like the swoosh and everything.
Right.
So we'll bring it back towards the sun in terms of layers. Swoosh or swerve. And let's see. So I am going to use this tool just to see if I can get that. It's kind of a weird swoop, so I might actually just have to use the pin tool. So, you got to trial and error, right? Like some things you can get away with, and like the end of that little tail looks like it might be nice with this shape here to use that. And then if I can curve it around for here, that might be enough. And then just get the rest of, so it looks like it's shaping up here. I just want to make sure that this one goes right along the hole, HULL hole.
Yes, and, yes. Make sure that those shapes line up nicely.
Yeah, and I might even bring it even further back so I can get right in there. Okay, yeah, that's looking gravy. Let's see. Not totally satisfied. There we go. Okay, but we got to get things going. So I am not going to be too strike that. I will be. Okay, I think that's good. And then let's see if I can use this same shape to get the other portion. I know it's a little wonky looking now that I've done all that, but maybe I can just kind of, and I'm sure there's better ways, easier ways, but I like to do things the hard way.
Yeah, there you go. It's a real man doing it the hard way.
This is what I call caveman logic. So,
Yes.
you know, you're trying to fit like a circle and a square.
Yeah.
You know, I push harder.
Yeah. Must fit.
Like, must fit. You know, so I'm definitely on my grizzly right now with these shapes.
But this is good. I mean, also this is you're also leaning on your really finished sketch, which is why it's so important. Especially with your process, it's like,
yes,
you have these really nice guidelines that, you know, even if you're not going about it the correct way or not the correct way, but like the way that you would, you know, normally do maybe it, or the fastest way.
Yeah, like the most optimal way, right? Like,
right, you're still getting the end result because you've got this really nice sketch to work off of.
See, and then we have a nice little swoop. It was a little haggard looking, a little jagged and crazy, but I think, you know, in the long run, it'll look really nice. Yeah. Yeah, so let's keep going. I'm gonna close that one off because yeah, let me actually just keep using these shapes. Like, actually, I feel like this one right here is probably, you know what? Sometimes you just got to use the pen tool. And honestly, I'm the best at the pen tool. And sometimes I forget that. See, bam, done, right? Like, just trust your gut. I think for the most part, that's been my problem for this stream is I'm not using the pen tool enough. And honestly, the pen tool, if you're not comfortable with it, get comfortable. Honestly, it's the strongest tool in, I think, all of this stuff, you know, like if you're good at the pen tool, it'll carry over into Illustrator when you're creating masks. And, you know, like if you need to rotoscope something, the same skill applies. And that's for visual effects compositing. Right. You know, so all really, you know, kind of set on that foundation of understanding the anchor points and the handles and, you know, what's too much. So like fewer anchor points, as I said, you know, better. Right? Yeah.
It's just its ability to kind of transfer over into so many other programs and applications. Right? Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to let's get that thruster unlocked right here. Thruster. Hopefully I don't do any spelling errors. Okay, take that shape. Bam. Okay. And sound effects not included in Illustrator. Okay, so we got swoosh upon swoosh.
It would be kind of weird. Some like Alexa type. Bam. Good job, Jarod.
I mean,
keep going. Way to
that would be amazing. I could use the emotional support sometimes, especially when it's late at night. Like there was the I forget what is the app that gives you directions. I don't remember which one it was, but there was like the voice that came like they had Snoop Dogg doing one. Did you see that?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I actually really wanted that because Snoop is very calming, you know.
It's so funny. My oldest son like loves Snoop Dogg, and it's so funny because like he sees him in the like Corona commercials where he's like, I like that guy, and I'm like, I mean, he looks like he's living a good life. He's living a really good life. He's in a nice robe on a tropical beach.
I mean, Snoop is he's like an American treasure.
Yeah.
So he gives the best commentary. You know.
Okay, so if you could just have Snoop in the background, you'd be like,
oh yeah, take that handle, make that, you know, smooth it out, smooth. Baby. You know? Hey, cuz.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be pretty funny.
That would be hilarious.
Someone get on that.
Yeah. Like that's the next feature. Adobe Max 2020.
Yeah, they've got that, whatever that, you know, get your message from somebody for your birthday, just turn that into some kind of like AI
oh my gosh
app.
yeah. I'm with it. I'm so with it.
Just have him record some key phrases. Let's do this.
Yeah. There's actually
Jared, please save.
Command S. I know we're not doing usually. If you notice the file is like 0, 1. Like typically, I'm saving all the time, and I create new files. Like I'll have like 20 of one.
Right, because you kind of want like if I want to go back or
But in this case, a lot of bad practices are going on right now. So it's like I'm at the party and I'm just like loosey goosey right now.
Yeah, it's okay. You fix it when nobody's watching.
That's it.
Then
you're gonna notice, right? Like tomorrow, you're gonna see a completely different illustration.
They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! What he was doing yesterday was so bad, but now it looks so good."
But don't worry, guys. I'm not actually gonna do that. I'm gonna rock with my mistakes, and we'll be good. Honestly, it's coming in okay. How much time do we have? Just out of curiosity.
Let's see. It's almost 10:45. We will be done at 11:30. So we finish up a little bit before then. We start wrapping things up about 5 minutes ahead of time. So let's see, 20. You got about 35 minutes.
Perfect. I think we got it. Honestly, there isn't much to this left. Honestly, like I just wanted you guys to understand, like towards the end, like how I'm going to export. Because when you start tomorrow, we're going to be full in the Photoshop. I'll give a little recap just to let people know where we're at.
Yeah, we'll jump into it fast tomorrow. And like I said, today, like don't worry about like getting to a stopping point or whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Yeah. We're gonna do all that tomorrow and wrap it up and do whatever you can. And also, there is also the thing too that if you can't complete it tomorrow, you can post it on your Behance profile completely finished. If it's, what I mean? Like if you want to do some added touches, that is not a problem. People do that all the time. And then, you just tag Adobe in that. We'll have all that for you. But yeah, it's good to know that's like, you don't have to rush to the finish line. It's
awesome.
It's like, we want to make sure that you're making a piece that you're proud of on the stream as well.
I appreciate that. I think because this one's fairly simple, we should be able to rock and roll and get it all completed. Fingers crossed, of course.
Yeah, I mean, just put in a sleepless night. I mean, your kid's gonna be up anyways, crying. Just whatever, just work.
It's actually today's it's a jam-packed week. So I have San Francisco Thursday, so I'm flying out for like a day, flying back in afterwards, and then we have like an actual like kind of like winter event going on that's going to be like Zoom chat on Wednesday, and then today is actually my anniversary with my wife, so we have plans too. So it's interesting. And then I got freelance.
What your wife would love is if you just worked on your anniversary.
I know she's a good sport though. She's very supportive.
You're used to this, right?
Yeah. Shout out to all the wives, girlfriends, mothers out there. We love you, and you make all this happen, and we appreciate the support. Always, forevermore. And so she actually took the little guy to the zoo, so he's having a grand time, I'm sure.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I love the San Diego Zoo. Yeah. It's a great one.
Yeah. I've lived here most of my life, so I've moved around a little bit, but I didn't realize how like infamous the zoo was until like really talking to my wife, because she always wanted to come here and stuff, and she'd heard things about it. It's interesting what you take for granted.
Is that why she married you? Was it
totally
just for the zoo?
She was like, looking for that zoo annual pass.
Zoo. Yeah.
To be honest,
Jared.
That's it. That's it, But no, she actually came down to San Diego because she's from Seattle. She came down from Seattle just really for Disneyland. So I'm definitely not the reason.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's why my wife followed me down here as well. So she's like, we're gonna have annual passes every year. I don't care if we can afford it or not. This is part of our contract.
That's it.
It's like, okay, I just have to go with this. All right.
Yeah. We had the annual passes, but pandemic hit and everything, and all the
good stuff. Yes.
Have you been to Disneyland recently, or?
Yeah, no, we got annual passes again.
Oh, you do? Oh, you have them again? Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. They changed it to like a magic key or something. No,
You
my
got the
wife's just
magic
like,
key.
yeah, she's like, we're vaccinated, everything's great. You know, it's like, let's just be safe and we'll go. And I'm just like, you know what? That's fine, babe. You want to do Disneyland? Let's do it. So
Let's do
yeah,
it. Yeah.
I think we're going next Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we
Get
love
the
it
Christmas
there, so.
vibes. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love just going to Disneyland too. It's just like there's just been a lot going on. I can't wait to get back into it.
It's been nuts.
So this line, I just want to see how it would look if I curved it out. I feel like that's probably better. Just have it cut off there. Okay, let's look at what we got here. So we got the swoosh. Swoosh is done. We got the thruster, the wing. I was undecided on whether I should add like another like little wing on the right side. What do you think, Chris? Do you think you think it's sufficient as is right there?
I don't know if you need it because it might take away from that really nice I mean, I guess perspective wise it might, but but then
again, I don't want it. Yeah.
I wasn't missing it, honestly. Like I didn't look at it and be like, I wish there was a wing there. So it doesn't read off at all.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna leave it without.
I don't think you need it. I don't think you need it.
Okay. All right, so we got most of the stuff. Let's add little details of the wing. I'm gonna go back to my layer shapes real quick, make sure we have all this separated because it's tedious towards the end having to do that. So I got the inner, I'm gonna call that the blast. Okay. And for everyone that's been rocking with us this time during this whole live stream, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'm really excited to get into it tomorrow too. I think you're gonna really enjoy seeing everything come together.
Yeah, you gotta come back tomorrow because that's when we get to do all the colors.
That's when it
textures,
gets really, really fun.
And then you start to really see the magic come to life. So.
Indeed. In fact, if we want to see some of this stuff come together right now, let's do it. Yeah, just because I think we have enough shapes to get it going here.
Give us something.
I know. All these lines have been probably brutal. Okay, cool. So let's get these colors. So here's the color palette I'm going to be rocking with for today, mostly tomorrow. Right. I'm going to make like these little squares, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the base one there, and then I'm just going to go this yellow. I just basically want to create like my color palette, like the rules I'm going to stick to. I'm not going to use that black though. I think these three are solid enough because I can use the highlights of the purple, and then I think what I'll do is just boom, boom, boom. And what I usually like to do is 2 out, 2 back. And you can use your color guide on the right. I think that's usually good. So like with the purple, for example, okay, so we got to get on the fill. So we have all these are right here, ready to go, but I try and limit even that. So like, I think right in the middle, I usually go skip 1 over, and that usually looks really nice. It didn't here. If you got to drag it, for some reason, it's not. There we go. And then go 1 more over. So that gives a nice trail off. And then if I need some really hard highlights, that'll be white. And I don't think we want to. So there's that.
And these are your tints and shades. So basically you're adding black and white to these colors.
Exactly.
So everybody knows this is kind of what the deal is. And so that color guide, it's kind of doing it for you incrementally.
Yeah.
Instead of having to do it manually.
And typically I might so these purples are already really dark. So I might like actually make that color, and then maybe I'll just
I see what you're saying.
Maybe just go down 1, like even though it's like, I think that probably looks a little better. And then this one can be like the dark one.
Right.
There we go. And that'll be probably like what the majority of like space looks like.
Right.
And then see here. Now these trail off, if you look, they trail off real quick. They get real dark real quick. So I'm going to actually use that one side by side. And that one probably could be a little darker. Maybe not. I might not use it. So sometimes like things get dirty like that, too dirty for me. Like I might actually just make it my own, and I'll get into that later if I need it. So I'm gonna leave those ones because they're kind of like a little in my favor, a little unfavorable for what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So okay, that's enough to at least get started. These will change probably, but those three are like the main. So let's get now just trying to decide on whether the whole is like purple. Maybe it's a little lighter because it's gonna be a lot of dark space. So I might go one more, and then take this shape. That's gonna be real dark on the inside. So now we're gonna see now the seat should be further back, right? Because now we're missing some of those shapes. Get the rocket hole, the seats. Let's get this shading shape.
And real quick, everybody, if you're on YouTube and you're just joining us, please come on over to Behance at behance.net/Adobe Live, so you guys can hang out in the chat with us here and ask some questions. We've got, let's see, it's 10:52, so we're gonna start wrapping things up around 11:20. So got a little less than 30 minutes. But yeah, come hang out with us. We're fun.
Yeah, I swear.
This is fun and entertaining.
I swear the conversation's better than probably the process. It's tedious. It really is tedious, and but that's the name of the game right there.
Yeah, it's like anything at a high level. It's like there's a lot of behind the scenes boring, just work that you just got to do to get to the fun stuff. So
yeah. Visor there. Okay.
Well, this is good, man. I mean, this is people are, it's nice to see that process, and people really, this is the stuff that people want to see. You can stare at finished products all day. You can try to reverse engineer it yourself, but it's really nice to see how artists really create their work and where they start from. Indeed.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like I said, you got to push through it, and then at the end you'll be rewarded. Okay, so I went too far down. Let's skip the swoosh. Where's the inner blast? I didn't actually separate the swoosh like I said I was. So let's see how many shapes I got here. I see. Okay, I got the inner, because those will be like, we'll have like the lightest on the outside and the pure white probably in the inside. Have like a nice purple or something. So let me think this through. Okay, so that one's top. So this should be that and that. Okay, we're looking good. So inner swoosh. Okay. Then outer swoosh. Okay. And then blast. We need that inner blast. That guy. Oh, I already did it. Okay. Here. Bam. Okay. Cool. Those I won't mess with for a second. Okay, we got the hole. We got the stripes. Let's see. Let's go with this like pink.
All right.
And see. We may change it later. And then just do more of these pinks.
Right. You're just kind of blocking stuff in, starting to see how it looks.
Exactly. Like I may feel differently later. Make sure that looks good there, because I want this blast to also be kind of this pink here, and then I'll have to close these off. And I'm
close off those shapes.
Yeah, it looks like, let me see the sketch again. Thought I trailed. Okay, so I cut those little premature. Looks like I needed those. But it's okay because they're going to trail off. What I wanted to do is bring it all the way over. And it looks like I didn't have the sun layer on at the time. So let me see. I can get that back though. And I'll do that later. It's not important at the moment.
Do that during the anniversary time.
Yeah, well, she'll be gone for a little bit. So like, hopefully I can get some things done before then.
Like, you're not working, are you? Be like, I love you, but yes.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
All right.
You know,
So
I have to do this.
My pride on the line.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Everybody's watching me.
Exactly. Okay, let's get some of that yellow in. Get this guy. See if I'm like, now that I look at that, I kind of want to bring it back again. And then let's see. So that's
yeah. See, what we do in post is that this really isn't live. We've tricked you. This is all in a delay, and then we're gonna speed up the actual. Yeah, so it'll look like you're going really fast, and you know what you're doing. And we're actually just gonna replace all the audio, so you don't have to worry about it. No one's gonna hear this. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, let's see. Well, hopefully you didn't hear that. My stomach just rumbled like insanely.
Oh, it's so funny. I'm doing the same thing over here. I'm like, I don't think the mic is picking it up. But
I just like that was like a bear growl. Like I didn't have anything for hibernation. That's funny. Okay, let's get this. Let's get this triangle too, real quick. Shape tool, rotate it. Just delete that one here. And then if you really want good control, you got to hit the unite, and then it makes it a new shape. And then you can kind of control a little better. And that's also how we're going to create like the stars in the background. Like, you know, like that's like you start there with that, but you do instead of deleting that last one. So if you want to make a really cool star real quick, do like that, hit, you know, the unite tool, and then bring it in. And this is all preference. So you could have like a chunky one that's like that, and then you come around like that, and then boom, you got like a little chunky one. And if you want to round the corners out, like that looks nice sometimes. You can take these guys, round that out, you know, boom, you know, that looks fun. Yeah, that's very popular style of star. Personally, I'm a big fan of like the blade, like sharp stars like this, and then maybe even bring it in tighter, and boom, like that. And then I'll use this one again for something else, and then boom. And then, you know, those look always nice. That's like that Disney kind of star. And
right.
You round it out just subtly like that. Or you could do like something a little more like, I don't know, modern. And you could just go like that. Mm-hmm. And those are always fun. That's kind of retro. It's kind of got like
what kind of twinkle do you
style.
Want?
Yeah. What's your twinkle? What's your twinkle preference?
What twinkle do you prefer?
So put that there. You know, and that might look cool. I may switch it up a little bit, but you know, that's the area those stars will be. So we're going to limit the stars, but there's some options for us to come back to. I'll just set those aside. Actually, just delete them because I'm not really ready to get into those. And then let's bring this up. Just thought I'd share that because we're kind of similar technique here. Round those out.
Using those live corner widgets.
Yeah, I love them. I really do love them. When they introduced that, I was like,
that was cool. I remember that because, I started going to community college in 2002. And because I'm old. And I remember doing Illustrator. I was like, one of my classes was doing Illustrator. And I remember the pen tool introduced to that. And I was like, this is hell. I didn't know what hell was on this earth until I found the pen. Because I am like a painter. I sketch, I'm a draftsman. So it's like, the pen tool was the opposite of what I thought it would be. You know, like until the Cintiq came around for me, I was just like, computers making me angry. But then after using it for a long time, you're like, wow, this is really awesome. You can get so many amazingly clean graphics. Then when they started introducing that, I was like, oh, thank God. Because so many times I was trying to do that exact same thing. Just
it's so true.
Noodling those little bevel points. I'm like, come on. So it's a great tool.
May I ask, is it rude for me to ask how old you are? Because I'm curious if we're close.
I am 37.
I'm 37 too. So
hey what's up? 1984?
1984, February 18th.
It's a good year.
It is a very good year. Pop culture. Look at that. Oh, nice. So I'm actually older than you.
Yeah. Whoops.
Just by a little.
I outed. Yep.
So I started this late. So, I got into this, I actually dove in 2012. So to anyone out there that's like feels like they're too old to get into this, you're not. Like, you could literally
I started
start
early and I'm not good at all, so it's fine.
No, and just to correct
matter.
you on that, Chris is awesome. I had a chance to look at your work beforehand, and it is awesome. Honestly, if anyone should be on character design, it's you. I love your style and like of caricatures and everything. Like,
I appreciate that. You can watch a character design. I have done one on here. Just go check the archives. Look me up.
Look them up, guys.
It's there. Look me, Chris Blackstock character design.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, it's it's always like, I always love that. What they said, it's like, well, you don't want to spend the next 2 years learning a tool or 4 years. It's like, well, those 2 years, 4 years, those are going to go by anyways. And you're either going to know what you wanted to know by then, or you're going to have to start in 4 years. So
totally.
It's just, always kind of just go for it. I mean, I find myself all the time where, it starts to shift or change of what I am or what I'm doing exactly, and being able to adapt and not be afraid to move on to something new or to learn something new. It's especially as an artist in today's field where you have to know so much to be a part of the entertainment industry or advertising or whatever you're working on. You have to be flexible. You have to be willing to challenge yourself. So
you really do.
And with all the digital tools, and they're constantly changing, you have to be willing to learn.
Gosh. Yeah, that's like the biggest part of it, right? Like being able to troubleshoot, teach an old dog new tricks, it's like, otherwise you just get left in the dust, and nobody wants that. So I started noticing against that yellow background, that yellow sun, I was losing a lot of that contrast. So traditionally, like, as you know, with a light source such as this, like the left side of that rocket should be probably pretty dark, almost like a silhouette. I mean, realistically, but since we're doing more of a cartoon, like, I'm gonna let some of that go. But I think we can bring in some of those deep colors, and then on the left side, to avoid it blending in with the space, I'll give it those, like, maybe there's like some cosmic waves opposite of the sun that can glow, like,
right. You're going to kind of put in that kind of core shadow to really make that rocket feel round. Yeah. Cause you're right. Otherwise, as you have that really bright light, it's going to kind of almost flatten it and just create this rim lighting around it. But in this case, I think you're right. Just creating that nice core shadow, some reflective light underneath, the bounce light from the outer space.
In my mind, I was thinking there to be real shiny, like light silver kind of look, but now that I see it, it's like, okay, you have to pivot, right? Like, life is all about, like, you experiment, you try something, and then if it doesn't work, you pivot. So okay, so where am I need to turn off all these, or lock everything so I can control the swoosh. I think I'm gonna get the swoosh and get the blast there. Okay, I think I've got a lot of the good shapes going. I'm gonna hide the shading shape, and then where's the seats? Let's get back in there. So that's an instance where that one should need to be down there. So this one should be completely dark. This one should have some lightness. Maybe that's like some of that yellow. Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. Like, we'll see. But if anything, it should be at least the color of that. I might have to have some like doohickeys, some tech stuff to light up this inner area or something. Yeah, because
some buttons and knobs and
something. I'll decide on that later. Let's get the thruster back. Let's get that. Maybe that's just enough to contrast so I know what I'm working with. The pinks and purples look really nice. Like, I want to see it generally. Okay, so like there's, outer space as a whole, you can find inspiration. Some people like to keep it very traditional, scientific, and others like to go full sci-fi, where it doesn't really live anywhere. Like, it's kind of like just fantasy, right? Fantasy. And that's where I live. I think that's my favorite place is to the sci-fi fantasy vibes. I think I can have definitely fun, and because I mean I've definitely done like the traditional space shuttles, but this is an example of that alien planet kind of thing. And that's the textures we're going to be applying.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that illustration. That one is really, really cool. And I don't think it's like you look at it and it works so well. And it's when I look at it again, I'm like, there's so much going on there.
Yes.
Texture wise and everything, but it's composed in a way that it's not overwhelming. So, I mean, I am really excited to see when you start to integrate the colors and textures.
I'm so excited to share that process too.
Yeah, it's really, that is a really beautiful one. And it's got, like you said, it kind of has that, 50s, 60s sci-fi vibe to it. That's really cool.
I definitely pull, I like to think that like I have one foot in the past and one foot in like kind of like a futurist mentality, modern,
retro futuristic. So
that's it. That's exactly it.
I love that style.
Okay, get rid of these blasts are overlapping, the inner swoosh. Make sure I'm grabbing the right ones. Here we go. Okay, cool.
You got a little bit less than 15 minutes before we start wrapping stuff up.
All right, cool. I think we'll be okay, honestly. I
think we're in a great spot.
Yeah, I think this is gonna.
The helmet through a loop.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, guys. Yeah, that. I think honestly, I just started overthinking everything, and I think I literally was just like stuck in a loop in my brain. I was doing things, but yeah, it could have easily been done.
We could have been, it was just like
we probably would have done by now.
Yeah.
Oh, that was brutal.
And I know that's Illustrator really is one of those things where it's like you can really just like sit there and finagle it's like, oh, if I just do this.
I'm kind of doing it now. It just happens.
It's so important though.
I agree. It's okay. I got that shape. I want to make sure it lines up with the other outer blast here. Yeah, see now it's changed up a little. So I'm going to bring it. Hopefully this doesn't get too cattywampus, as my wife likes to say. You know what? We don't need that. It is a good word, right?
We had a toy store. We had a toy store in the city I live. It just closed down recently, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh no.
It's called Cattywampus.
Are you serious? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a group of sisters ran it. It was pretty awesome.
Okay, so this shape here, I think I got this. Let me, I get this shape. And make sure, is that there or not? Okay, there we go. Cattywampus. Yeah, she has some funny ones, and I honestly don't know if it's just from where she grew up or whatever.
Right.
She says, I had to search all over Hell's Half Acre or something for this, I was like, what? That is very particular. But yeah, heard that one. Yeah, and just Cattywampus is the funniest one.
Yeah,
I introduced her.
It's just such a good one.
Right. Okay, so this inner swoosh is good. Let me get that or delete that. It should be fine there. The sun. Use that to clean that area. Boom. See, that pathfinder really is I think all I've used in this whole time is the pathfinder and the pen tool, maybe a couple shapes. So I mean, that just shows you how much you can do with just a couple tools. So that's looking good, but we want to make it like that pink and then but real light maybe because we're on the outer skirts of it. And then let's bring this. Okay, and the inner swoosh, inner blast. Okay, so here we go. We need to bring this inner blast up, bring that blast up, and then bring that back in so we can see it. Okay, now
Wade just posted your Instagram link. So guys, if you're watching this, check out in the chat Jarod's IG.
Thanks. Thank you for that. A lot of cool stuff is coming. Man, I'm so amped on a couple projects that are going to be released. If you like that illustration that we were just looking at, I did a crazy product that did this insane space environment full of shuttles, like a rover, all kinds of cool stuff, but textured in that direction. And I'll be releasing that as soon as the product drops. I don't want to say exactly what the product does because it's a surprise, but stay tuned. I'll definitely be on Instagram and share that with everybody once it hits. Here, having trouble. Let me lock the layers here. Okay, this one here. Make sure. Okay, and then also I need the whole. Get that shape out of here.
So Wade's asking you, have you ever used the shape builder tools in AI?
I have not. No. Like, I guess I need to practice what we preach, right? Because like I know like there's a lot of new tools to be used, and I don't want to be stuck like that old
got some homework. Got some homework.
Yeah, I got some homework.
Got the curvature tool, and then maybe some shape builder action.
That's it. Those are the two right there. I think what it is lately. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying I'm the same way with like it took me years in Photoshop to like even start using the clipping mask. I was just like, I don't understand it. I was just hand fisting all of my drawings and paintings. I was just like, one brush.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna
man.
So I understand. It's like it's great. Things like this are great because you do have so many people that are they know so much about these programs.
Yeah.
I remember hotkeys I was learning. Yeah, I was learning hotkeys on the live stream. I was just like, oh, right. You can just pull up the hue slider with the hotkey. Like, stuff I should have known after using Photoshop for like 10 plus years. But
I think what it is too, it's like for me, I get really busy. Like this year has probably been the busiest year for me freelance wise. So when you have a technique or a process that you can trust, you kind of stick to it, right? And like so
it's hard to switch from that, especially with paid gigs. You're like, I'm not trying to experiment on my client's work.
Like I mean, it's good to like troubleshoot, and like if there's ever an instance where I'm like, how do I achieve this? Like you got to create like a repeat pattern, the pattern tool, the brush, you create a unique brush, like that can be really awesome. So there's different things that come in handy in different instances. Right now there's just no need for them, but let's see, what are we lacking here? So let's go back to the sketch. I'm going to actually overlay this now since we can't see it anymore. So we're going to bring it all the way to the top, and I'm just going to lower the opacity because let's see, like 40% probably be nice. I actually don't. Maybe I could actually multiply this and see if that looks better. Okay, I can kind of see some of the shapes still, or the pre-lines, so I'll leave it at that, so we can still get some of the color. And what are we missing here? So I got the name that needs to be added, a couple details on the wing, some helmet details, but I think the gist of the helmet, yeah, I want to do the visor because that's gonna be really fun to do later. So there we go. Waves. Okay. And I love wavy shapes and lines. Like if you look at some of my stuff, like whether it's on Instagram or on my website, and just so you know, I've been a little dormant in terms of my Behance portfolio. I do plan on curating that a lot more in the weeks to come once I get on that holiday break zone.
Yes. It's hard keeping up all the different platforms, and
it's so
making
hard.
Sure you're up to date. So yeah, no one's holding anything against you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first time I did an Adobe Live, I think it was back in late 2018, I think. And I didn't even know about Behance at the time. So
oh wow.
It's yeah, and now it's I love it now, especially now that they can do the hosting the live streams as well, which is really
it's so cool. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you get to it, it's hard.
Yeah. It's like finding time, is just tough.
This is a great way to kind of like push you towards it, because then you're like, okay, now I got this great project, connected to my live stream and everything else.
Totally. Yeah, that's gonna be really awesome. I can't wait to see the final result. I'm gonna rewatch and cringe the whole time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
like
that green screen.
Oh my gosh. It is what it is. This is reality, folks. Like I love my homies with like the beautiful, like curated office. I will get there one day.
Yeah.
We can all strive, right?
Yes.
But this is dad life right now. I've been annexed from my office. It's now a nursery. All the cool stuff is left in his room.
Oh yeah.
Let's do one more. Just find that. There we go. I think that'll be cool. Yeah, it's looking real wavy now. Let's see. But it's killing me. Yeah, I gotta just stay on the Command Y, everybody. Show the vectors. That's very helpful.
Vectors.
Like,
kind of
so
get
show me the money.
Mess. Yeah.
It gets very overwhelming. So bring that in a little bit so I don't get another one of those trails. Okay. All right, let's get these shapes going. I think I just need to get. So these are real sloppy shapes. I just basically want to make sure that they don't overlap with the visor, but it has to be a complete shape. So if I were to just like, obviously make it right there, you see like it doesn't run the course. For anybody that's curious what I'm doing with those weird lines here.
Right, you just want it, it's going to sit behind it. You just have to do it so that it runs to the edge.
And we'll do those real quick just so they can see the vibe of what I'm talking about. Leave those waves there. We'll come back to it. Do that one. So let's do this one and then get that visor unlocked. Look real nice in a second. Got that one. Let's move on. I can delete this one now. So, and I will put that back there. Get this guy. Him. Visor's locked again. There we go. Okay. Although I'm gonna actually move this guy away from that portion there a little bit, or maybe bring him closer. I think that's.
Gotta watch out for those tangents, people.
Yeah, I don't want. There we go. Because also this stuff gets lost, so I don't want to do anything too crazy here. Let's see. So I want it to run right.
Let's see. Ishmael's asking us, is it possible to shift from graphic design to illustrations? I'm assuming you mean from studying graphic design to doing illustration, or I'm not sure exactly. But it is definitely, it's all intertwined for sure. I mean, and Jarod, I think you're a perfect example of graphic illustration. I mean, this is kind of the marriage between the two.
Yeah. So obviously, I think graphic design and illustration work hand in hand, right? Like, it depends on what, like the projects you're doing and stuff, like what are the client's needs? Obviously some need more heavily graphic design, looking things, right? Like illustration, like can accompany graphic design, but essentially I do graphic design and illustration for my day job. And I don't always get to do these type of works, but I think it's cool. Like you don't have to be like a strong, like there's like comic book artists, right? Like those are like the best, like they know form, anatomy, like they can do like all kinds of cool illustrations. But I feel like if you're not as strong you can still like a character designer and stuff, you can still do really well as an illustrator, conceptualizing these ideas, right? Because that's what it is. Like illustrating is like kind of like conceptualizing these concepts that need a visual representation, right? Maybe you could round that out.
No, I mean that's illustration is based off of telling a story, using text and visualizing text. That's like the original form of illustration. And graphic design is you're doing a lot of those things too, through shapes and words and all, but a lot of graphic design and a lot of marketing and advertising uses illustration in the designs, or it's a part of the design, or it's integrated into the whole thing. So I think it's pretty easy to jump from graphic design to illustration. I think it's harder to be like a true illustrator and move into graphic design, just because it's the design sense is a little different. I think I think it's easier for graphic designers to move into illustration than it is for illustrators to move into graphic design.
Yeah.
But that might just be me projecting.
It might be. I mean, because I've seen
I think it's different for everybody, you know?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we all have our strengths, right? Strengths and weaknesses. Right. But like, I feel like if you have a good design eye, like it's probably going to be pretty easy.
Yeah, it's going to translate no matter what.
And
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's get this moving here.
All right, it is 11:21. Got just a little under 5 minutes left.
5 minutes. Okay, we're gonna finish these waves, and then I'm basically gonna export. Even though it's not, I just want to show you guys how we're gonna export this real fast. So you know what? I'm gonna leave these. I'm gonna just move this over here.
Yeah, we'll just do that, and then you can kind of just go through real quickly, kind of what we're gonna do for tomorrow.
I got enough waves on this. Only one G.
We got a wave.
We got a wave. It looked like more, but yeah. Okay, fair enough. I'm just gonna minimize that for the time being. Okay, cool. So let's say everything's done. We have all the details added. All the layers have been correctly named. So, because what happens when you export, Illustrator compresses the layers. So if you have like a bunch of things, like say like a group, or it's going to make it all compressed onto one layer when you open it up in Photoshop. So that's why it's really important you have everything separated on the layers. Gotcha. I generally delete things, like I would delete things that are unnecessary. So like anything that's like outside the art box, like the actual or the artboard rather, sorry, anything's outside the artboard will make the composition like bigger in Photoshop. So like if you really like it's
including all of those things. Yeah,
exactly. So like generally I try to delete the stuff that's outside. So like this I'd delete, that type of thing. And this would be fine. I can work within this. So once you have all this stuff, it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure you have document setup, or no, over here, go up to effect, document raster effect settings, and make sure you have your file like at 300 dpi, so it's a good size when you export. And then also, if you want it to be in CMYK, make sure your color mode is CMYK, because you can't change it after if you go into like, I'll show you. So export as, and then Photoshop is where you want it. And so you'll have this new Photoshop, and you can use artboards, but I wouldn't do it personally in this instance. And then here's the options. These are the important ones. So like, this is why I brought up the color mode, because if you go CMYK after it's already RGB, then you can't actually write the layers. It'll be a flat image. So that's super important. RGB is what I like to work in. It's got the best color gamut. But so right here, you want to click that, write layers, and then that should be good. You should have like, definitely click this, editability. And then go from there. It might take a second. It shouldn't be too bad. Like I could probably open that up real quick.
Well, do you want to just tell us really quickly, because we're kind of running out of time now. Just want to tell us really quick what we're doing tomorrow, and I can wrap this up and then
definitely
do day 2. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So so we have the vector shapes set up, we have the layers set up. So now that we have like all that, we'll export it to Photoshop tomorrow, and we'll do a lot of layer selections, masks. There might be some transparencies, some special effects, motion blurs, those type of things. We're going to add a lot of textures. I have some brushes that I love to use, and I'm going to show you some of those. And awesome. We'll just add some like dimension to the piece, based on the light source, which is the sun in this instance.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, this has been awesome. It's been fun day 1 with Jarod Octon. On Adobe Live. We'll be back with part 2 tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, we're gonna finish this bad boy. I'm super excited.
Heck yeah.
So stick around. We also have the artist spotlight tomorrow, so don't forget. But stick around for the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with Andrew Hockrattle, immediately followed by mobile app design with Elsa. So thanks again, everybody, for showing up today. Please come tomorrow. Let's finish this. Thanks again, Jarod. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks everyone.
All right, see you tomorrow.
All right.